So it is another beautiful day here in Arizona. A little chilly out for us, probably only about 50 degrees, but certainly sunny, not a cloud in the sky, and I don't think I have to worry about it raining today. So I want to get to some of the things I've been putting off because I've been worried about raining right in the middle of doing it. And I've got other things going on. I've got to do a combination switch in the Jeep ZJ because the headlight, the high beams won't turn off. And I got another plasma cutter. I'm still on the search for the perfect budget plasma cutter. I got another one to test and review, so I want to get to that. But while I have this nice weather, I want to sand around the top of the windshield frame. You can see I did most of the windshield frame. I need to get up in around in here. And I want to get the rest of these decals off the side. And you can see there, I've been trying to experiment with different methods of getting it off. And tried one of those eraser wheels, but it just keeps hopping on me. I can't keep it pressed against the surface. So that hopping is kind of making it tough to do. So I may try that little 2-inch DA sander since it's going to be out here doing that anyway. So let me show you what I got to do. I got to take these screws out along the top to hold the top off. I've only got 2 bolts on each side in the back holding it down. I got to do that better before I drive it. And then I got to take these under here off. Then I have to lift the top up slightly and tip the windshield frame forward, and then I can start sanding it. Okay, so let me show you what I got going. I managed to get the windshield frame tipped forward without too much grief, and it's actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it was. So I think that little DA is going to make short work of that, and then I think I'm going to put some kind of top coat over it, just a rattle can white. I know I'm going to sand most of it off, but I don't want to just leave the primer exposed for any longer. So I have some more of the Rust-Oleum self-etching primer and just some of this craptastic Rust-Oleum satin enamel. I mean, I don't like this stuff, to be honest with you. It just takes forever for it to dry, especially on a cool day like today, but I got it, so I'm going to use it. I've also got my little 2-inch DA sander out. I got some more sanding discs, so we're going to go around on that windshield frame. We're going to get that smoothed all down and primed, and then top coated all around where I've got all the primer. And then I'm going to try, if I have time, I'm going to try and go over that as well with the DA sander and the primer and the top coat. Anyway, we'll see. I need to do something about all that too. Yeah, probably not going to have time for all of that today, but going to do what I can. Okay, so let me show you some of the problems I'm having with this eraser wheel. I did some areas here. I tried a couple different methods other than the eraser wheel. Tried a wire wheel, tried the DA sander with a 240 disc. None of it really worked very well. When you can keep the eraser wheel in contact with the surface, I've never seen anything that beats it other than, you know, a 6-inch circular sander with a 30 grit disc, and even that doesn't work really very good. But this eraser wheel, when it bounces, it sucks. When it doesn't bounce, it's really good. So let me show it to you. So I'm not 100% sure what the bouncing problem I had was the other day, but it was unusable. It was just constantly fast, bouncing in and out, chattering really. I mean, this just strips it right off of there, takes the decal right off, and doesn't really hurt the paint underneath. It's pretty... I mean, when it works like that, it's pretty great. I mean, I really have no complaints with it. Problem is, when it starts chattering like that, it's completely unusable, but for some reason it's not doing that to me today. I mean, it just comes off of there. You can see it just comes off of there in big chunks. Just tears it off. Pretty amazing. You know, I'm chattering when I go in that direction, but not when I go in that one or that one. See what I'm saying? When it chatters like that, it's unusable. Now it's come loose. But when it's not chattering, it's great. And you just can't go that way. And the fact that you're not eating through into the bare metal is a real plus. Kind of hard on the arms though. Can't do that. In order for it to cut great big chunks of it out, you know, like you see here, in order for it to do that, you got to keep a pretty good pressure against it. Otherwise, it just smears it. But when you do keep pressure like that, it goes through it quick. I did get that stripe cleaned pretty well off with the eraser wheel. Once you kind of get the hang of that thing and can keep it from chattering, it just works amazingly well. Pretty hard on the wrist though, but it did work well. And here where I tried other methods and hit down bare metal, I sanded it and then hit it with some of the self-etching primer and then just a little bit of white rattle can paint just to cover the primer up. It's all going to get sanded down anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm pretty happy with getting all around there. Again, it's just white rattle can top coat. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting a lot of rust under there and make sure I was getting all that flaking old paint off so that it could be sealed with the primer and you know, a top coat. So pretty happy with all of that. It's all going to get sanded again, so don't worry if it doesn't look great now. And I still have the stripe to do on the other side. Here, they had a caulk in it. And I don't know whether that caulk was from the factory or what, but I got all the caulk out of it, used a wire wheel to get all the rust out of there. I actually even have a small pinhole in there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm right at the end of this seam here. There's a pinhole. Don't know whether it's a rust or whether it was something that was just there that they caulked. But got that cleaned up, put some of the Loctite rust neutralizer spray on it, then put the self-etching primer over that, and then just put a rattle can white over top of that to make sure that the primer itself is covered. And I'm not sure how I'm going to proceed with that. Same issue on the other side, just nowhere near as bad as this side was. Not sure why that is, but that's how it was. The overspray on these, I'm not worried about. They're all cracked and they're going to be replaced. I really don't think that looks too bad. I think it looks a lot better without the stripe. Those stripes were gorgeous when it was new, and the Renegade stripes on the hood. But man, those decals are tough to get off. And yeah, I've got a lot of work still here on the doors. You know, I want to put a lunchbox locker in the front. I want to rebuild the limited slip in the back. I want to do all the brakes on it. So there's still a lot of work to do on it. And you know, when you have a project, there's this much on it, don't be discouraged. Even if you can only come out and do, you know, an hour here, an hour there, just come out and chip away at it. And my suggestion is you do the things that make it drivable first. Worry about the paint, worry about that kind of stuff, worry about that last. Get it out on the road where you can drive it and enjoy it, and you will have a lot more incentive to do the other work. Right now, I'm just waiting on some money to get saved up to buy the parts for the brakes and the differentials, and then we're going to be out here on that. So, I think that's it for today. It is getting on in the afternoon. I've got it all put back together, and I think I'm going to call it a day. It's Sunday. I'm just going to relax for the rest of the day. Anyway, watch out for my review of my next plasma cutter. I'm really hoping it's going to be the one budget plasma cutter that can do it all for me, but we'll find out soon. Thanks for watching.